Hello and welcome to News at 10. We're live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda, Accra. Also streaming on Facebook at TV3 Ghana as well as DSTV channel 279. My name is Grace Hamwa. Sorry, first let's begin with the day's news highlights. Residents of Adenta Animal Research have vowed to chase out politicians who would come to seek their vote in 2020 if their roads are not fixed. They say they have been left out of the development agenda of government. Also, open defecation along the Winneba Beach in the central region is posing a threat to the health of staff and inmates of the Winneba prison. Authorities are calling on stakeholders to help put a stop to the practice. Now, poor road infrastructure linking communities in the Sisala East municipality of the Upper West region is impacting negatively on access to education and health. Our Upper West regional correspondent Yakubu Abdul Ghaffur reports that residents find it difficult to transport patients from nearby communities to the capital, Tumu, due to the deplorable nature of the road. On the international front, former Zimbabwean leader Robert Mugabe has been receiving medical treatment in Singapore for the last 2 months and is no longer able to walk, though he should return home next week. Mugabe, 94, who ruled the Southern African nation for nearly 4 decades since independence from Britain in 1980, was forced to resign in November 2017 after an army coup. Many thanks for joining us. Let's start with Debit One. So a Hyundai Atos taxi cab went up in flames at Apam in the central region. Our sources confirmed the incident. An amateur video circulating on social media revealed some fire service personnel attempting to douse the flames with little enthusiasm. Watch this. So there you have it on the screens. Let us now speak with the Apam Fire Commander DO2 Adolf Nyama, who joins me on the phone lines. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you for joining us. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Good evening to you and your viewers, madam.
Okay, sir, so can you confirm whether the incident happened few meters from your premises?
Thank you for this good opportunity given me. I'll actually go straight to the point. Our station share boundary with a mechanic shop, so on that fateful day, a taxi cab caught fire through the activities of a welder at the shop. They tried to extinguish the fire themselves with sand, but when
we're having a challenge with the phone lines. We'll work and get back to the APAM Fire Commander DO2 Adolf Nuyama. You're still watching NEWSAT10 on TV3, also live on DSTV channel 279. Let's come in studio and speak with Gordon Kofi Ekuamwa, who is a fire management consultant and managing director of Rise Consult, and he joins me in the studio. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you for joining me.
Good evening, and thank you too.
So I'm sure you've seen the video. Is this a cause for concern?
Yes, of course. Cause of a very high concern, because you heard the district fire commander that you spoke with. The first attempt, as he mentioned, was they were using sand. They were trying to use sand to put out the fire. But you know, we have a policy or a requirement that says cars should have basic fire extinguishers in the car. So that should be the first point, you know, of action that should have been taken. But then what it means is that basically that was not in a car, so they resorted to other means to fight that fire. Yeah.
So let me have you hold it on. We'll go back to the APAM Fire Commander DO2 Adolf Nuyama, so he tells us a bit more about this incident. Thank you, Sam, for joining us again on the phone lines.
I also thank you very much.
Okay, so
and I'll be brief.
Okay.
Like I was saying, my station share boundary with a mechanic shop. So on that fateful day, a taxi cab caught fire through the activities of a welder at the shop. They tried to extinguish the fire themselves with sand, but when it was out of control, they pushed the car to our compound. When we saw it, one of my officers quickly tackled the fire with a fire extinguisher, but the strong wind rapidly spread the fire, and the fuel tank exploded. Our tender, or the fire engine, is a diesel vehicle, which air must build up before the pump can be engaged. Due to that, the first option for my men was to use a close-by fire hydrant. But unfortunately, water was not flowing. So they waited for the pressure to build up in the appliance before water was able to be discharged to fight the fire.
So how?
Yeah, therefore we managed to prevent the fire from spreading to the engine compartment of the taxi cab. So the vehicle was not totally burnt. Still around.
How do you explain the apparently lukewarm attitude of your personnel? In the full glare of everybody, including your personnel, the car was in flames. And and the fire personnel who was around didn't really appear as he was interested in making sure the fire was dust or went down. And that has been a source of great concern for critics.
Yes, actually it is true. But like I was telling you, they were waiting. They were actually ready to fight the fire, but the water was not discharged by them. They were waiting for the water. They were waiting for the pressure to build up in our tender so that the water could be discharged. But he was standing there slowly, so people thought he was not doing anything. But he was waiting for the water to come so that he can fight the fire.
So that brings us to the question of the readiness or preparedness of the Ghana National Fire Service. Aren't you supposed to be ready for emergencies, especially making sure that there's water in the hydrant, and so anytime there's an emergency, you are able to act fast as is in this situation?
Yeah, this actually has nothing to do with water. We have water in the tender, but the tender or the appliance is such that if you sit there for a while and you start it, you have to accelerate it so that air will fill some cylinders before you can engage the pump. So we were having water all right, but just that they were waiting for the pump to the pressure to build up. That is all.
Thank you very much, DO2 Adolf Nuyama, APAM Fire Commander. Let me come back to the studio. Godwin Kofi Ekuamo is a fire management consultant and managing director, Right Consult. You heard the APAM Fire Commander. Are you satisfied with his explanation?
Yes, if you take the way what he presented from the point of how a fire tender functions, he will be right. He could be right. And that will also depend on what kind of the vehicle that they have in there. We have modern ones that could function, immediately they put the systems on. But it will also depend on how modern the fire tender they are even using is, or the equipment that they have over there is. And so, but the question too is that, yes, we can use fire tender to extinguish fire. But if you look at the case that we have over there, we shouldn't be talking about even a fire tender. We have, like he said, there's a hydrant, but there's no water. There was no water in it. When did they get to know there was no water flowing through that hydrant? Safety is not about we running helter-skelter when the incident is already, we need to be prepared. We need to put measures and systems in place so that in case it happens, we'll be proactive, we'll be very efficient. So in a situation like this, what would you recommend the fire service does? Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you look at the way he started his presentation, I wonder whether the car itself has any form of a fire protection system in the vehicle, in it. Yeah, so we have policies or we have laws that mandate cars to have extinguishers in them. Then it goes back to law enforcers. How are we enforcing the laws that we have? Do we make sure people do what is required of them? We are human beings. Still, some may like to behave the other way. So all the time, the enforcers also has a role to play. That's why they are also there. We pay them to oversee that the law is implemented. So you see the disjoint in, what we're supposed to do, how we are supposed to do it, who is supposed to supervise. There are so many flaws in the system, and so that's why we continue to experience things like this. So apart from looking at the systemic challenges or flaws, there's also the bit about the personal safety. What would you recommend or advise people who take their cars to the mechanics? What are some of the safety mechanisms you should be looking at when you take your car to the mechanics so that you don't experience something like this? You see, I'll just pick it like when we had a atomic gas explosion. We spoke, then we had a recent one in Kumasi. This one has come, we are speaking again. Like you just asked, what should he do? The question is very broad because it will spark from the safety precautions that even the welder himself or that mechanic shop needed to put in place. Then you that have driven your car there, what is your bait that you need to play? So it's a chain. And if maybe that car, let's say, assuming has the extinguisher and whatever it is in it, he was ready. But then the welder, because he didn't take the safety precautions, sparked the fire. If the fire is very huge and maybe even the extinguisher in it cannot fight that fire, we'll still experience what we are seeing now. So the safety, I don't know even whether as a country we have any safety policies. We do. And how are we implementing them? Because you go to offices, today it is car, tomorrow it will be office, it will be someone's kitchen, it will be something else. And all the time we have flaws, we have holes in managing situations like this. So I see it as a systemic failure, cutting across all systems. Because if you see what is happening now, and it's not just the car, with the story he has just put up. If you listen, you watch the video alone, and you've not gotten this information, you will think, yes, the firemen over there didn't act well. But looking at what he has presented to us, you realize that the failure started from even the mechanic shop that the car went to get its self-service. So it's everybody's responsibility. Play your part. Let me also play my part. Of course, the systems in the country must also work. So I have been speaking with Godwin Kofi Ekuamo, fire management consultant and managing director of Right Consult. Thank you, sir, very much for joining us. If you just tuned in, you're watching News at 10 on TV3, also live on DSTV channel 279. We're back after this break with some more stories. Don't go away.
Welcome back. You're still watching NEWSAT10 on TV3, also live on DSTV channel 279. Residents of Adenta Animal Research have vowed to chase out politicians who would come to seek their vote in 2020 if their roads are not fixed. They say they have been left out of the development agenda of government.
We are at Adenta Animal Research, and this is the nature of the roads. Residents say their life are at risk anytime it rains, and they are calling on authorities to fix the road. For years, the road has been in a deplorable state. Residents say attempts to get the attention of authorities to fix the road have yielded no results. School children are unable to go to school anytime it rains. Flood water from Ebri also run directly into their homes whenever it rains. On this particular stretch, the community members have constructed a wooden bridge which serves as a walkway for them.
2020, say, ababi na yentu mom. Ye dey say dey be some antima anya gota anya kwan no mo bi antwa kwan say oba say ope vote bia.
Using this stretch is unbearable anytime it rains. If authorities do not fix the road, we will advise ourselves in 2020. The youth in the area are not happy. If they don't fix our roads, we won't vote. Whenever it rains, people stand here to carry others at a fee of 1 Ghana cedis. We are pleading with government to fix our roads.
And yes, your brothers know the Omato Sorohono. Almost say yan canon colahu. Until so no say a canon colahu dia. Ombomodia non daninichi and shehanso. No who say so yebre.
I have problem.
I wish it had rained before your coming. We are unable to access our homes anytime it rains. We won't vote in 2020 if the road is not fixed.
No road, no votes. They want the Ministry of Roads and Highway to fix the road. Bridget Mate, TV3, Adenta, Accra.
Elsewhere in the central region, open defecation along the Winneba Beach in the central region is posing a threat to the health and staff and inmates of the Winneba prison. Authorities are calling on stakeholders to help put a stop to the practice. Lucy Ayambela has the rest of the story.
Available statistics indicate that 1 out of every 5 Ghanaian practices open defecation. It is also estimated that open defecation costs Ghana some $79 million annually through tourism loss, water pollution, and death, among others. Numerous campaigns to tackle the menace seem not to be getting the desired results. Open defecation has been happening close to the Winneba prison for years. Prison officials are worried about its impacts on the health of inmates and officials.
The stench that emerged from the beach to the prison is unbearable. In the afternoon, when we get visitors, when we see visitors here, we cannot sit down here. So we have to go out and sit down outside for the stench to go down before we come inside.
Joseph Damson, who is a cleaner at the beach, shares his frustration about the practice despite the presence of public toilets along the beach.
They have been asked to stop defecating here, but they are not complying. The assembly is even constructing a new toilet here, but they say they don't want it.
Some opinion leaders in the Winneba community have also expressed concern about the practice of open defecation.
Even some of our ladies defecate in polythene bags and throw them at the beach, which is very bad. It is very disgracing to us. Even visitors are refusing to enter the beach.
Away from the central region, we go to the eastern region where the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Kojo-Kyerematen, says contrary to claims by some members of the opposition, the Akosombo Textiles Limited ATL has been revived by the Akufo-Addo-led administration. The Trade Minister insisted it took the courage of the President to ensure the survival of ATL.
Industry Minister Alan Kyerematen was speaking when President Akufo-Addo paid a brief visit to the Akosombo Textiles Limited as part of his 3-day tour of the eastern region. The textile company used to employ some 3,500 workers when operating at full capacity, but it was literally brought to its knees when the new patriotic party exited power in 2008.
This factory itself is producing at less than 30% capacity. And by the time that we took over, the management and the owners of ATL had already decided that enough was enough, and that it was time for them, with all the investments that they have made in this government, to say goodbye. It took the courage of His Excellency the President and decide that ATL will continue to.
The Trade Minister revealed further that the Akufo-Addo government has introduced a number of policy measures to deal with the challenges of the textile industry as a whole. These policies include the introduction of tax stamps and the designation of a single import corridor.
We are going to introduce tax, and these tax stamps would identify all locally manufactured textile prints as well as those that are imported, to indicate that, number one, that the designs and logos have not been pirated, and that, number two, that the right duties and taxes have been paid. We are now going to designate a single import corridor. So you cannot bring textile prints into this country except through that dedicated corridor, which is through Tema. We are also going to ensure that we provide stimulus and other support to the textile companies.
Alan Kyerematen was convinced with the President's commitment and support, adding challenges of the textile industry will be a thing of the past.
Exhibitors at the Media, General Lifestyle and Housing Fair have expressed their satisfaction about the event as it enters day 2. They are hopeful of massive sales tomorrow, Sunday, which ends the fair. The Housing and Lifestyle Fair by Media General and Planet One Media is a second edition held at the Aviation Social Center. It's brought together over 50 exhibitors from all parts of the country, providing an opportunity for the public to choose from a wide array of household items and products. Products on display included hardware, electricals, household items, energy efficiency equipment, among others. Some of the exhibitors could not hide their joy about the success of the event.
A lot of people have been coming in and have been showing interest also in the products also. So they've promised to call, okay, and then visit our showroom too.
People, a lot of consumers who've been here who expressed interest about what we're doing, and then we've also done our part, give them the advices they need, the tips they need, and then I think so far it's been an experience. It's been great.
The past 2 days, I think publicity has been impressive. I'm believing that tomorrow we'll have a lot of people to visit our stands, and then also to be informed of the products and things that we sell.
I think so far so good. I believe that we had a very good patronize. We hope that tomorrow will be another day, hoping that people can come after church to come and patronize. We have very good product here.
They are hopeful of high patronage on the final day, Sunday.
Sunday after church, they will troop in, and that's what we want to see, because we want to promote our products. And of course, that's what we are expecting.
I'm hoping to see a lot of people coming here and coming to our stand.
Tomorrow, I just hope shoppers or people would troop in whereby we can actually sell to them the brand and all that. Yeah.
We have reduced price. They should come over with the little that they have. They will still get something to buy. So we are expecting them.
The kids were not left out as there was a play area for them. So the exhibition is ending tomorrow at the Aviation Social Center. So you want to pass by after church, have a look at the products on display and get something for your house, especially as we are nearing the Yuletide. To some other stories, the National Identification Authority, NIA, has extended the registration period for the Ghana card in the Adenta municipality by 3 days. This is to allow applicants yet to be captured to take advantage of the extended window period. This follows the expiration of the original registration schedule in Adenta, which elapsed Saturday, November 24. The NIA mass registration in the Adenta municipality started on Monday, November 5, with designated centers. However, some residents raised concerns about the slow process of registration and also a frequent shortage of registration materials, a situation that compelled the NIA to extend the registration period. So that's how we end this edition of NEWSAT10 on TV3, which is also live on DSTV channel 279. My name is Grace Hamwa. Many thanks for joining us. Good night.